Everyone. Welcome to the GEN conference. I want to welcome you to our webinar. It's entitled From Local Roads to Real Life. And my name is Jamila Walida Simon. I serve in the New York State 4-H office as a civic engagement specialist, and I'm so excited to be here today. And I'm even more excited to let you know that I have two Citizen U Broome team leaders who are also 4-H alumni who are going to be serving as presenters with me today. So I want to welcome Nosa Ecole and Esther Melnick.
Hi, everyone.
That's okay. So welcome to the GEN conference. I'd love for each member of our team to tell you a little bit more about themselves. So Nosa, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, so I've been a part of Citizen U for 5 years. So I was a freshman in high school. I'm currently a freshman at my local community college, and I'm hoping to transfer to Cornell to study agriculture.
Thank you, Nosa. And Esther. Esther, you're up next. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Esther Melnick, and I am currently at BCC. This is my first year, and I've been a part of Citizen U for about 3 years.
Thank you so much, Esther. Again, it's such a delight to have both Nosa and Esther with us today. They're going to talk to you about a project that they worked with as a part of their Citizen U Team Leadership Program. And again, I serve as the New York State 4-H Civic Engagement Specialist with the New York State 4-H program. I'm one of 3 state specialists here with the 4-H program. And today I'd like to focus in particular on the crossover between civic engagement and STEM. When we get some of this cross-fertilization, it really can result in citizen science projects and some really opportunities. This webinar has 5 objectives. We'd like for you guys to go on a journey with us and explore the Great Pothole Solution with a project that was run out of our Citizen U Broome County program. And it's really a model project for working with other municipalities. Both Nosa and Esther are going to share with you some of the lessons they learned from being a part of that project. And we're going to spend a little bit of time exploring some new ideas for youth and adults to work together in a youth-adult partnership and some spin-off projects. So looking at the Great Pothole Solution and looking for some additional ideas for projects. It's just to introduce you to a Cornell resource through the Cornell Local Roads program and a project that they have running, the Retroreflectivity Project. And then we're going to explore a roadmap for how citizen science projects can be accomplished, but more specifically, a roadmap that Citizen U used in their programming to work on this Great Pothole Solution. To Esther and also to Nosa, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about the history of Citizen U.
Citizen U is part of CIFAR, which is a Children's Youth Incident Risk Program and Sustainable Community Project. It's basically a youth-led, youth-run workforce development program. We were awarded a 5-year grant. Basically, the grant allows us to recruit from the infant high school, and the students that are then recruited are able to come up with projects that they want to better improve on our community. And kind of the projects that we like to focus and fall into are the schools of Citizen U, and the 6 schools are School of Business and Entrepreneurship, School of Community Development, the School of Environmental Studies, the School of Food Nutrition, the School of Performing Arts, and the School of Technology and Media Arts. Citizen U is just really a great program that helps teen leaders build leadership skills, development skills, developmental assets, workforce job readiness skills, and social capital skills. So it's a really great program that really helps students to hone in on skills that sometimes they don't even realize they have.
Citizen U also allows teens to interact with their community and help them build a relationship with adults that are in community. So when they become adults themselves, they can go out and use the skills that they develop in Citizen U to better their area.
Sure. And one of the things that I didn't mention is that I serve as a CIFAR liaison. I also serve as a technology coordinator with our CIFAR programs, and I've had the privilege of helping support these programs for the last couple of years. Is really a wonderful signature program that we offer through our CIFAR programs. And the CIFAR programs are really meant for working in communities that we largely have not worked in 4-H. And so it's a great way to help us to grow our 4-H program. So we're going to transition right to talking a little bit about what is the Great Pothole Solution, and who did it target, what did it target, and look at some of the structures that needed to be in place in order for you guys to work on this project.
So when we first came up with the project, the Great Pothole Solution, this time we were all kind of learning how to drive, so we were witnessing firsthand just how bad the pothole issue was in our city. So we decided to fix them to make the road safer for pedestrians, drivers, especially new drivers that we would be, and just skateboarders. So we were able to call in a 4-H educator, maybe, or Adam, and came in, and she kind of just taught us how to use GPSs. And when we were able to learn how to use GPSs, we were then able to break up the city into 4 quadrants: north, south, east, and west. And from there, just kind of went out and we caught all the potholes that we could find. I wanted to explain some more on the process. When we were first pulling points, we had to obviously have someone help us figure out how to use the GPSs, but once we learned how to plot the points, we went out to our community and we started to plot points. I personally went out with my sister because I didn't have my license, and I plotted points whenever I could, which would be at night or at day, regardless of what the weather was. I still went out, and so did my peers also went out to help. Each week we would gather up our pothole on a map, and we would think if we needed more. And most of the time we would need more, so we would go back into our community and plot more points until we finally decided that it's good or it's good. It looks okay.
Great. It sounds like you were working with a team, and it looks like all of those team leaders are identified at the top of your poster. Can you tell us a little bit about, was this an individual activity, and during your weekly meetings you would come together and those points, some of those individual?
Just a question, can you ask that again?
Yeah, so it sounds like from what Esther described that you guys would work separately during the week to get those, to mount those potholes with the GPS units, and you would come together during your weekly meeting and then come onto the same map. Can you tell us a little bit about what that individual process was like and what motivated you to keep going out?
So some of us did go individually, and some of us actually did go in a small group. I think Pinoza went out in a group of 2 other people. I most of the time went individually because I was mostly doing them at night. I didn't want to force any of my other friends to go with me. It wasn't bad going outside. It was kind of tiring at times, but I still kept going because we still needed more points to make it look like we had a good point and that there are a lot of potholes in our community.
Yes. So we were breaking up groups or individuals as to where to go. We also focus on where each person or where a majority of the group lives. So I live on the south side of Binghamton. Basically, the group was mostly those who all was on the south side, so that way we didn't have to travel far. But once that we needed more and more potholes, collect data, we would get people from the north side to come to the south side, or south side to go to the north side. So first, it was supposed to be well, that's kind of where you go out and that's kind of where you stay, so that's to not travel so far. Then eventually, towards the end, we realized that we needed a mass produced in a way, I guess, to like really send people out. So we kind of sending people out wherever they could go, wherever they could get the potholes to go and get it. And it was just really cool to see that regardless of the weather, citizen members were still really determined and committed to getting more and more potholes, because we kind of were really concerned about the safety, that when it comes to the safety for fellow community members.
And so once you collected all this data and this beautiful map, what did you do with that information?
Take the map, and then you cut it all potholes. So sometimes some pothole, it represented like 16 little clusters of potholes. And we actually have to keep that, we had to like key that in mind, because we had to go and present it to the mayor. And just so that he could see just how bad the potholes were, I had to make a key and make him realize that these aren't just little individual dots. These are dots that represent, a larger group of dots. So I think having the key and then being able to present it to the mayor himself and kind of saying, we're teenagers, we see this as a problem. This is what we've done. We've done all the work. We got all the potholes. We found where the streets were the most. And we're presenting it to you. We kind of like, this is work, and then what are you going to do now with it, And I was thinking, we were taking our community in our hands in essence, because we were ones that were realized what the issue was, and we were fixed it, and we were to kind of work out a plan so that the office can do themselves, so that he can use our map to go fix potholes, which he actually did use our map. So actually a couple of streets that were in the beginning of the school year, because they were working on the roads, and I think it's really great to see, like, just be able to take the initiative and put it to the mayor's office, just see how fast that he was able to go ahead and take our map and use it. So it's just really nice to see the instant gratification that came from all the hard work of all the 4 months of working winter, going out at night in the cold, wet, sneaky days,
Last question for you guys. What year was this pothole solution project completed?
I want to say over a span of 4 or 5 months.
Was that the winter of 2014?
I started 2 years ago. Say maybe 2014, 2015, Esther? No, 2014, right, Esther? Or 20?
Yeah.
2014?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was 2014.
Great. A little bit, and if you would just talk a little bit about some of the lessons you learned about yourself, about what it means to be a citizen, and lessons about working on a team.
Okay. So just kind of really quickly learned about myself and what it means to be a citizen. This is kind of one of both. It's kind of like the potential to do great things and for our community. And so when you all together, all of us teenagers, regardless of how sometimes we're viewed as a nuisance, be able to come when we're determined and committed with something and actually make it work. Our actions is what makes us a citizen. I think this project really made us citizens because we came up with everything. We figured out who we needed to talk to. We figured out what we needed to do, where we needed to go, and who to contact once we got data collected. So I think it was just the commitment that came from us wanting, to the community that find us as citizens. And I think that is what I learned personally for myself, that I am a citizen because of the things that I do. And I just learned from my group, it was the change in the commitment that amazed me from them, because they were always ready to go out and collect more. They were always willing to do so much more, regardless of what their schedule looked like, regardless of what the weather was like, because we all had one goal and we were all determined to reach it together. It's really important, that togetherness, that unity that we had we had that one goal, and we all knew that we all should be in it 100% together.
Esther, what were some of the lessons learned about working on a team, being a citizen, and lessons that you learned about yourself?
That if I wanted something done, I had to inform my government and how I want it to be. If I see a problem, then I'd tell them, because they wouldn't be able to know what I want or what I need. So if I inform them, I would help the community and help myself.
Great.
Yeah. And that's more of what Esther said. I think as a whole, this project really helped us to figure out, like, later on when we're adults, it made us realize now as teens, if we're ever faced with that we want our government, or whether it be local or, on a larger scale, if we want something done, then we first have to take the initiative. So I think this really just teens that just we're teens doesn't mean we're limited to an amount of things. Because that doesn't mean we should just kind of slack off. It means that we should take initiative and learn what we can learn now through our adults and through the opportunities that they give us. And then on, we can use those to benefit us and benefit our community and benefit other, generations.
I think Nosa and Esther, they turned that people face within a lot of different communities into an opportunity for them to learn about themselves, to learn about what it means to be a citizen, and that teens are citizens now. They don't have to wait until their voting age. You heard both Nosa and Esther talk about that as being a pivotal experience and the value of working in a team. So I encourage all of those of you folks out there to create opportunities for your teams to be working together on a team, and to create some opportunities for them to work on projects where they're helping to really build their community. We'll talk a little bit later about what community development is and the cycle of community action, but I want to say kudos to both Esther and Nosa for being here today and also representing their team so well. This work was done a little more than 2 years ago during a really rough winter, and they stuck through it, and they've gained a lot of skills as a result of it. So I want to say thank you.
Yeah. Good recording.